Yeah, US Open just finished up, and so it was kind of like this bike was ready before US Open, but I didn't really want to ride a new bike right before, like getting used to a new bowl and everything. So I'll have a fresh bike for Battle of Hastings, and a couple more stops of the Fans BMX Pro Cup. Yes. Yo, what's up? This is Gary Young, and I built up a new Sunday. This is the V3 Soundwave Surf Blue. On it, got the Sunday pegs, the Seeleys. They're plastic, along with the par ends that are plastic, and the pedals are plastic, so I don't want to hear any gripes at the skate parks or riding street from anybody whining. It's nice. Got that figured out. On top of that, we got the new Odyssey, my new grip. It's called the Warnin. This is the second one that I'm testing out. These ones are blue. They're pretty dialed, kind of on par with my other grips that we've had, and that they are worn in, but they're kind of less so. So it should just feel good instead of too worn in. I got the Odyssey Slugger seat, Odyssey RAFT Brock stem. Hopefully that makes me bunny hop higher. I don't know. It seems to work for Brock real well, but I also run the coaster. It's the clutch, and it's pretty sick because I actually use the adjustment quite a bit. If I'm like trying like a fakie trick for a while, I'll run the slack out, but if I don't, and just like kind of riding ordinarily, like skate park or trails, I'll tighten it up, and so it's a little bit more responsive. I have the Odyssey R32 forks. Those are pretty much like the mainstay. I think I've ran those since they came out, since they were race forks. For the front hub, I run the Odyssey, I believe it's the Vandero Pro. I lace it to the Litehouse rim. I really like the shape and like just the style of it. It kind of makes for a cleaner line, and it's easier to put together for me because everything's kind of in the middle, as opposed to some of them are like scattered, like one over here, one over there. And so this is easier to put together. I just put on some 2.4s, a little more bounce when riding the street and landing low on ramps, because boy's not always the smoothest. For pedals, I run the black and white Odyssey Twisted Pros. Each one of them is a little different, so if you get a pair, they're not going to be exactly like this. So this one has a little more black in it, left one has a little more white in it. These are the Odyssey Thunderbolts. My current cranks, they're 165s. Kind of like having my feet a little bit closer together. I've heard a thing about like being able to have both legs pump, and that kind of stuck with me. Like, oh man, maybe I can use like both legs to pump so you can go a little bit higher. If it works, sweet. If not, doesn't bother me. I don't know. I got the Aaron Ross Boss Bar. These ones are 9.125 and 29 wide. I cut mine down a little bit, so they're about 27 and some change wide. I also cut down my forks a little bit, just because I like how clean it looks without like just having a ton of spacers in there. Just aesthetically, it's pleasing to me. For sprockets, I ran the Odyssey Halfbash. It's pretty rad. It has the bash guard that's replaceable, just in case you grind through it. It also was the last piece on my bike that was ever considered metal and I could mess with skate parks. So I could literally say that my bike does no damage to a skate park, even if I hang up. I run a 25.9 right now. For the longest time I ran like 39, 28.9, but lately I've been feeling like that quick burst of speed. It's been helping, especially riding bowls and stuff. You don't pedal really when you're in the bowl, but just getting speed once you're, like before you drop in, it's where the cranks are usually taken. Chain, I run the Keychain. It's pretty wild chain. I'm real appreciative of like them coming up with such a strong chain. It really does the job for me. The par ends are Odyssey par ends. It's my favorite par end. My favorite bar end. they just last so long. When it hits the ground, there's not like a big clang, 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 and so I'm a strong believer, and that's my favorite bar end. Major thing for me, both of my hubs run the female axles, and the female axles have just, ever since I started running them, like, just made night and day difference. I haven't had to have any axle issues in so long, and the one time that I broke a female axle, it was a gap to rail, and cased it back peg, and it was a 3/8 axle, and like changing it out was as easy as just unthreading that one and putting that back in, and I was able to get the rail done 10 minutes later. So this is at Gary B. Young's bike, and thanks for watching. This is the one I'm going to be riding for the last 2 van stops and Battle of Hastings. This was the Soundwave B3, and you can order it at your local bike shop, mail order, or sundaybikes.com. It's ready to take the abuse you can give it. Check it out, and hope you guys enjoy.